April 11th, Wednesday, here we are. It's on. Everybody's been waiting for this. They said, when's the next show? When I post it. What do you mean, when's the next show? It's usually, about 95% of the time, it's on a Wednesday. So I don't know why I got two emails. When's the next show? But anyway, so everybody's like, what are you going to talk about? You're going to talk about Syria, how we might go to war, and all this stuff about the fake chemical thing. It looked like on the news like it was a bunch of kids getting baptized. If there's any chemicals on people's faces, you're not going to be using your bare hands to be wiping someone's face, because then your hands are going to be burning, and then you got to cut them off. So I don't know. It looked like a baptism to me. So I don't know about I call it a fugazi flag. Other people are calling it a false flag and all that stuff. Didn't they said we're going to move, we're going to pull the troops out of Syria. We're going to pull the troops out of Syria. 2 days later, boom, chemical attack. We're going to move the troops back into Syria. We never moved them out, but we're going to move them back in anyway. So everyone's going to talk about Syria? No, I'm not going to talk about Syria. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I was looking at some crazy news stories because I don't want to get into politics because, you can divide the whole audience I have. All 144 subscribers, 100 could be on one side, 44 could be on the other side, and then all of a sudden I lose all the subscribers. Just got to gain some more. So I'm not going to do any politics, but I'm looking at some crazy news stories from about a week ago. I wrote down a couple headlines, threw it up on my on the blog over here that I do every once in a while. So in Pennsylvania, a superintendent of a school district thinks he has the solution to keep kids safe. He's going to arm the kids with rocks. That's not going to work. Ask the Palestinians when they try to defend themselves against the Israeli troops. Rocks? Are you kidding me? That's well, it's better than paper and scissors. I think scissors would be better. I think scissors, yeah, but you got to get up close, and you got to go right for the throat. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be between rocks, paper, and scissors. I don't understand how paper beats rock though. That's if you have scissors and the guy pulls out a paper, you go, oh, scissors cut paper. But then another guy puts down a rock, you put paper, somehow paper beats a rock. Yeah? What would you rather have thrown at you? Paper or a rock? Yeah, I thought so. So I don't understand how on the rock, paper, scissors, how paper beats rock. Someone throws a rock at you, you're going to sit there and hold up a piece of paper to block it? No, you're going to duck. You're going to duck, and then you're gonna go grab your scissors, and then you're going to stab the guy in the throat with the scissors, whoever threw the rock at you. So you're going to arm students with rocks. Let's say it starts tomorrow on Thursday, April 12th. We're going to arm the students with rocks. How long will it be to one student throws a rock at another student? I'm going to say, I don't know, 6 seconds. 6 seconds is what I say. Yeah, so you're going to arm kids with rocks. Yeah, good luck with that. It's not going to work. No. Scissors. Pencils, they got lead. You could get lead poison, and then 4 weeks later, you could, your arteries could draw themselves or something. But yeah, so that's not going to work. So I thought that's why I wrote this on this web thing I do over here. Then there's in Dallas, there's a pastor gets 99-year sentence for starving toddler to death to purge demon. 99 years to purge demon. And I'm not talking about a Dodge demon. I don't know what he's talking about, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But 99 years, and, on good behavior, he'll be out in like 5 years. So that's a little wacky, right? Then in Chicago, Amtrak police found a guy on a train with a gun wearing a bulletproof vest. You need that nowadays. You need bulletproof. Whatever you got. Anytime you're in a gun-free zone, you should be wearing a bulletproof vest. But you know what I think? Good thing he didn't have any rocks. So that's how, that's the news right there. So, figure I'd do some news things. But, yeah, so am I going to talk about Sierra? I think I already did. So that's, I answered that guy's email. So, yeah, if you email me at Stigs Comedy, you could ask questions, and I still had the guy threaten me. I hate your show. I'm going to kill you. If I see you, I'm going to shoot you. Yeah, okay. I'll have a rock ready for you. Rock and roll. Stop rock and roll. That's what they do in Palestine, whatever the country is, whatever. Yeah, that's what they do. They stop rock and roll. They stop, they throw a rock, and then they got to roll out, because then Israel will send missiles and fighter jets and machine guns, and then whoever survives gets to throw another rock. So that's how somebody said after World War III, the next war will be fought with rocks. I'll go with sticks and stones. How about that? Sticks and stones, hammers. Hammers kill more people than guns. But anyway, that's the comedy part of the show. But what I want to talk about this weekend, I went to the Vegas 4 Wide Nationals. The Vegas 4 Wide Nationals, NHRA drag racing, and it's 4 lanes of drag racing. 4 lanes. Instead of 2, you run 4 cars. It's like if you're on the 405 in LA. I don't know, maybe they have 6 lanes over there. I don't understand. Being from New York City, you either have 2 lanes or 3 lanes on the freeway highway system, depending on what it is. And then first time I go out to LA, it's got like 75 lanes, and it's bumper to bumper traffic. And I'm like, how the fuck is there traffic with all these fucking lanes? In New York, there's 2 lanes, and then every once in a while, to pass people, if you got a fast car, what you do is you go on the shoulder, and then you pass the slow guy, or you wait for the entrance, and then you move over, and you hit the accelerating lane, and then you pass the person. I pass on the right, I pass on the left. I don't care. You can't pass on the right. Yeah, whatever. Whatever is safe. I'll pass on the right. I'll pass on the shoulder. If there's a ramp, I'll use it. If I got enough speed, because I don't want to be like Evel Knievel and then crash into the fountains here at Caesar's Palace. Live from Las Vegas. This is Take the Pizza. In case you were wondering, I don't know. Probably 6 people already are like, this guy's a nut. I'm not watching this. And then other people, I don't like this person, but I gotta hear what he's gonna say next, because it's insane. It's crazy. It's insane. Maybe next episode I'll have rubber walls. You never know. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what I'm gonna say. But I went to the Vegas 4 Wide Nationals. 4 lanes of drag racing. I filmed a bunch of videos. I put a couple of them up on my High Performance Comedy YouTube channel, where this Take the Pizza is on. And there's over 10,500 views, and there's a lot of people commenting. You forgot to take your anti-seizure medication, and looks like you're standing in an earthquake. Well, the grandstand is aluminum, right? And let me explain to you what 40,000 horsepower does. Aluminum grandstand. It's really loud. And right when they hit the gas pedal, a freight train smashes into the stands. And then you got to film it with the camera. And it's too shaky. It's too shaky. I can't watch. I almost threw up. I got motion sickness. I had to take a Midol or something. What's that? What's the thing they take for a motion sickness? Motion aid? I don't know. Motion aid. I had to take motion aid. But yeah. So to film, to stand in aluminum stands with 40,000 horsepower. It's like a nuclear bomb goes off, and I'm sitting there like Wolf Blitzer back in the original Iraq War. I said original because there was two, but I think they both were original. But I think Wolf Blitzer was live. When the Gulf, what is it? The Gulf War? Is it the Gulf War? Desert Storm. That's right, Desert Storm. So the original Iraq War, Desert Storm, but actually we fought in Kuwait. Yeah, so how's that? How's that for facts? Yeah, Kuwait. We defended Kuwait because Iraq snuck in and like, we're going to steal all your oil. We're going to steal all your, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do nothing. We're going to take your country over and you're not going to do anything. And then all of a sudden we sent 1 billion troops to Saudi Arabia. And then we said, all right, we're going to kick your ass. And that's what happened. We kicked you out of Kuwait. And then George Bush, the first one, the original George Bush, the original Iraq War, the original George Bush is like, all right, now that you're back in Iraq, we're going to stop the war because we're not going to take over your country and kill your leader because it'll turn into a big piece of shit. Even though it is a piece of shit, it'll just be a worse piece of shit. And that's exactly what happened during the second one. Here we go, more politics. Anyway, so that's how it is with four-wide drag racing with 40,000 horsepower. Everything's shaking. It's like a nuclear bomb went off. And here I am holding a camera going, yeah, of course, it's going to be a little shaky. You know, I'm not Fox Sports. I'm not ESPN. I'm not MSG. And what other sports now? TSN, you know, that cover the Canadian sports, you know, like NHL, hockey. And so that's the way it is. It's people, the comments are funny, though. They're like, you forgot to take your anti-seizure medication. Yeah, whatever. I got Parkinson's. I had Michael J. Fox was filming the video for me. How's that? All right. I was just watching, and then Michael J. Fox is over there going, they're going more than 88 miles an hour. They're 88 miles an hour. They're running on, you know, plutonium, you know, or the clock tower, the flex capacitor. Why are you over there today? Usually you're over here. Right. Okay. You got yeah. All right. The corner guy is now the hallway guy. That's what Hall and Oates. Hall and Oates. But anyway. Yeah. So four-wide drag racing. A lot of people don't like it. That's all the comments on there. They don't like the four-wide drag racing. Here's the thing. I live 8 miles from this track, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 8 miles. I could actually hear them when they were testing. I could hear them racing down the track from 8 miles away. And but I'm not gonna complain. Oh my goodness, it's noisy. But it's a lot of horsepower. 40,000. A lot of people don't like four wide. Every year I get tickets. I haven't been there in 10 years. I turned down the tickets. This year, there's the first year they went four wide, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go to this race. I rather, you know, I'm more in love with the street cars, you know, things that you could build. You know, I've raced for 10 years, spent over $100,000. So I'm more with the street cars. You know, funny cars, you know, the engine is $100,000. You know, it's not relatable. You don't drive down the street and a funny car pulls up next to you and you're sitting there going, I don't know why they call it a funny car. It doesn't look that funny. And so that's the... I was like, let me go check it out. You know, I get the suite. You know, so you get free food, you get everything up in there. Food, drinks, air condition, and then there's a little door you go out, and you're on the grandstand. It's like your own private grandstand. So you know, there's not crazy people running around and all that, drinking and throwing beer. Oh wait, that's NASCAR. That's why I don't go to NASCAR, because I don't like being around. That's the other thing. I only go to the race if I have a suite. I don't like being You know, I get the end seat, and then all day long everybody's got to move in and out. Cause I go. You get a beer, go to the bathroom. It's annoying. So I went to the race because it was 4 wide. A lot of people don't like the 4 wide. I think the 4 wide is cool. You know, it's the only time you get 40,000 horsepower, and it feels like a bomb went off. You get the percussion of the horsepower. You know, everything shakes in you. My lungs were shaking, and all the other organs in there, or pianos and organs, everything was shaking. Spleen, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I like the 4 wide, 4 lanes. And that's probably why I got 10,000 views on the video, because there's 4 lanes. Everyone's, what the hell is this? I never seen it. Oh my God, 4 lanes. That means if you finish outside the top 3, no, it's don't worry about it. There's still gonna be winners and losers, but people don't like the 4 line, and I don't blame them, because you know what? When they went from a quarter mile to 1,000 foot, I was like, this is ridiculous. It's 320 feet short of a drag race. But then in the past 5 years with all the street cars are getting so fast, a lot of the races are eighth of a mile. And I had to sit there and figure out what a fast time in an eighth of a mile is. Because I never, 10 years I was racing, I didn't give a shit about the 660 foot mark. There was 2 marks I cared about when I was drag racing. I also did road racing and autocross. But it's the 60 foot time and my quarter mile time. Those are the only 2 times I care about. I never care about the 330 foot mark or the 660, which is an eighth of a mile. The main one you look at, actually, the 60 foot mark is more important than actually the quarter mile. I'm not going to get technical. Not going to get technical into that. But another email was like, and also 2 people asked me in person, how come you're not going to, how come you've been out of racing since 2001, and why don't you go back? I'll go back, but it's not going to be on my dime. You want to build a car, I'll race it. You pay me to race it. I'm not spending any money. Like I said, over 5, 6 race cars, street cars, race cars, $100,000. If I didn't race for those 10 years, my house would have been paid off, and I'd be paying off a second house. But $100,000 is a lot of money. But this is what I came up with. I want to come up with where you could rent a race car. I'd buy a couple Camaros, couple Mustangs, maybe some Hellcats or a Demon or something, and you could rent the race car. So instead of going out and buying a Demon for $80,000, you could rent it for like $500 to $700 every time you race it. You got to put down like a $5,000 deposit, and you rent the car for the day. So if you race it 10 times a year, it's $5,000. It's better than spending $80,000, and then with that money, that keeps the upkeep of the car, new racing tires, whatever it needs. So I like to run a race car because they have the thing over there. They got Speed Vegas, and they got the other thing here at the Speedway. I forgot what they call it, but you could rent exotic cars and Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvettes, Hellcats, ZL1 Camaros, Shelby Mustangs, and for $400 or $500 you could go do 4 laps of racing. All right, so it's $400. You're driving $250,000 cars. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, the new Acura, NSX, but 4 or 5 laps, nah. It should be for the day. So that's why I do I get a couple Camaros, Mustangs, Hellcats. Eventually you get, now that Supra's coming back, you have a Supra, maybe get, a Nissan GTR, Skyline, get whatever the big cars are for racing, and then, a Kia Stinger, and you could rent the race car for the day. $500 to $1,000, depending on what car it is. So if you're gonna rent like a Camaro SS or a Mustang GT, be like $500. But it's gonna be a lot more horsepower than the stock one. They'll have at least 550 horsepower, and then they'll have cars up to 1,000 horsepower. But you could do road racing, SCCA, and drag racing, stuff like I did, and I think that would be the best thing to do. I would spend $500, because you go race 10 times, $500, $5,000 a year. You could get your own sponsorships to put up the money. Gun Hill Garage, who's sponsoring this, and then it's a clothing line. It's coming out soon, and then I'm the CEO, and I think that's a good idea. I gotta put a little more thought into it, but I start off with 3 Camaros and 3 Mustangs, and then you rent the Mustang. It's gonna be here in Vegas first, because you got the road race track, you got the drag strip, so and then maybe you get a track rental. You could go and road race, and then you could go and drag race. Because that's the crazy thing when I used to do. Saturday night I go and drag race. So I gotta put the slicks on, go out to the track, race, come back home late. It's like 2, 3 in the morning sometimes, especially if we do like the Friday Midnight Madness. And then I have to jack up the car, take the slicks off, take the front tires off, and I gotta put all Ford road racing tires on. This is the red Camaro over there, the Camaro SS I had. And then I go out and do, SCCA, autocross, or road racing. And then I come back home and I jack up the car, take the road race tires on, and I put the street tires back on. So, since I stopped doing that, I gained weight because I was constantly jacking up cars and taking tires off, putting tires on, undoing my sway bar. You undo the sway bar so when the car launches, it plants the rear tire. That's just for drag racing. You need the sway bar when you're road racing or doing autocross. But when you're drag, I undid the sway bar to plant the rear. What am I telling you for? So that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm not going to put up my own money, though. So if Chevy wants to sponsor it, or Ford wants to sponsor it, or Chrysler wants to sponsor it, just give me 3 cars, and then we're going to up the horsepower. Maybe put a roll cage in them or something. Not a crazy one. Maybe just like an 8-point harness, a cage with a 5-point harness seatbelt, and I think that will work. Because why spend $70,000 on a ZL1 Camaro or a Shelby Mustang, where you could go spend $5,000 a year? So I think that would work. I gotta get out the calculator and figure that out. But anyway, so I'll talk more racing later, because today is the start of the NHL playoffs, and I'm gonna give out some picks. What is this going to be, a 4-hour podcast? Vlog, whatever this thing is. All right, so here we are. Today, the NHL playoffs start. Now, I'm going to break it down. As a sports handicap, I already had to break it down anyway. But I'm going to give out the picks because a lot of these are going to win. So, first matchup, I have it written down here on my board. So that's when you're a sports handicapper, you got to have everything broken down. You got to have boards and stuff. I don't show all because I got a lot of top secret information. This is like my own pentagon, except for my house is a square. But I'll call it an octagon just in case, in case somebody wants to come in and try to fight me for this information, and they'll lose. And then let's break it down. Vegas, the Golden Knights. Everybody's thinking the Magic's over. It's over. They had no way of making the playoffs at the start of the season. I have them at 200 to 1 to win the cup. But experts said they weren't going to make the playoffs. Ha! Now they're saying they're not going to even advance. Really? Oh, shit. Vegas over LA in the series. I got it breaking down. 54% Vegas will advance to the second round. 54%. If they could contain Kopitar, if they could shut down Anze Kopitar, and even if they don't shut him down, we got players that have a match. You got Marchessault, you got Carlson. They score more goals than him. All right? The big guy they got to watch out for is Dion Phaneuf. But I think Ryan Reeves is going to shake him. He's going to shake him. And I'm not talking about he's going to be chased by him. No. He's gonna hit him hard. Yeah, if they fight, they fight. If they 6'4", 225, Dion Phaneuf. Watch out for him. 6'4", 225. Ryan Reeves, 6'1", but he's called the Terminator. So if they drop the gloves, Ryan Reeves will drop Dion Phaneuf. But this is the playoffs. Fighting is way down in the playoffs. The only time you fight is to protect your players. So anyway, I got Vegas 54% over the LA Kings. All right? So that's how it's going down. I got it all. I got a whole system to break it down to come up with the percentages. Penguins. Pittsburgh Penguins. They won the Stanley Cup the last 2 times, but the goaltender's not there because he's on Vegas. Marc-Andre Fleury. The goaltender of Vegas is a 2-time Stanley Cup defending champion. And he's also won another cup. 3 cups. But Vegas is not going to... get out of here with that. Pittsburgh Penguins over the Philadelphia Flyers. Broke it down. 65% they'll win the series. It's a division rivalry. If it weren't a division rivalry, I put it at 70 to 72%. But because it's a rivalry, the Flyers know how to play the Penguins. Just like the New Jersey Devils know how to play them. And they could beat them 2-3 times a year also. But here we go. Penguins over the Flyers. And then Winnipeg Jets over the Minnesota Wild. I got that broken down to 67%. Boston over Toronto Maple Leafs. 55%. Boston will beat Toronto. Winnipeg will beat Minnesota. Penguins will beat the Flyers. Golden Knights will beat the Kings. The Golden Knights will be the Kingslayers. That's just the way it is. And then I'm continuing. That's not the end. I got more. There's more picks. Nashville Predators, the ones that went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year, will beat Colorado that just made it in. And I think they got a goalie injury over there. I don't know who's starting yet for Colorado. But it doesn't matter. Nashville will beat Colorado. I got that at 64% that will happen. Washington Capitals, Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't know. I got this at 52% Washington over Columbus. 52% because there's some health issues there. I don't know if Ovechkin, he's resting? Is he injured? And if he's not really 100%, that's why this is 52%.